Hey, how's it going everybody? I thought it would be fun to try and get some Battle Frontier gold medals only using Shinies, and I'm more specifically just thinking about maybe the Battle Dome and Battle Tower. But in case you're new to the videos and the channel, I am currently on a quest to get all the gold medals in Pokemon Emerald. Currently I don't have any gold medals, but I have some silver medals, and I thought it'd be kind of a fun little side quest to maybe use the Shinies that I've acquired over the last decade and try and use those to make a team and take on the Battle Frontier. Thought it'd be kind of fun, kind of cool, kind of different, you know. So everything you're going to see in this video is legit. I didn't use any speeding up in emulators. I didn't use any RNG glitching, or I didn't gift myself anything. This is just me playing the game over a very long period of time and just, again, solely acquiring things and just enjoying the game for what it's worth. I don't get any enjoyment or self-satisfaction from lying to people, if that makes sense. Again, I play these games because it's fun. But anyway, I digress. I do want to go over the team really quick, and then we will break down how I actually got to this point, because, you know, it's always about the journey, not just about, you know, the end product. So we'll start with Charmander. I got this shiny according to my iPhone. I took the picture of it June 2019. I got it in, I think, my Leaf Green save file. Then I transferred over to Fire Red. EV trained this in special attack and speed. It is a quiet nature, which actually is pretty good, because a quiet special attack increased by 10%, but however speed decreased by 10%. So it's kind of good, kind of bad, but we're going to equip a scope lens to it for now. The scope lens is going to give it some additional crit ratio and crit chance. The move pool I got: Dragon Claw, Flamethrower, Blast Burn, and Sunny Day. I not the best move pool in my opinion, but there aren't that many other special attacking moves Charizard can know. Looking online, a physical attacking build is a lot better, but this is what we're working with for right now. Moving on to Umbreon. I got this EV also in my Leaf Green save file. I got it May 2021. This took a long time. I started this hunt July 2020, and yeah, it almost took a year. I did so many resets. EV trained this in defense and special defense. It is sassy nature, which is a special defense increase, which is sweet, however speed decrease, but that's actually a good nature for this, so I got kind of lucky. Gonna put the leftovers on it. This is gonna be a stalling Pokemon, just a real beefcake. Moves, we got Faint Attack, Toxic, Protect, and Moonlight. Toxic and Protect, pretty standard, you know, just put Toxic on and then stall yourself, especially with leftovers. Moonlight's gonna help us get some additional health back. And Faint Attack, I just thought it'd be kind of a nice move just to have on there, just to do some additional damage, and it never misses. You also got that stab bonus. I was considering things like Wish, Rest over Moonlight. However, I kind of want to test that Moonlight, and Wish I needed as an egg move. Also Curse would have been a pretty good move, but that is also an egg move, so that's out of the question. Next up we got Metagross, such a cool shiny. I soft resetted this in my Sapphire save file, and I got it in October 2019. EV trained this in HP and attack. It is a lonely nature, so the attack is increased, but the defense is decreased. This is also a pretty good nature now that I'm looking at it. Wow, I got somewhat lucky with the natures. Again, they're not perfect. Admit would have been the best one for this, but lonely, not that bad. Gonna throw the choice band on this for right now. The choice band is gonna make it so it gives an additional boost to one of our attacks that we use. However, we are locked into that attack until we switch out, so we can't use any other moves. The move pool, we got all physical attack moves: Earthquake, Meteor Mash, Rock Slide, and Explosion. Some pretty great moves here. This is going to be our main sweeper. I guess Charizard is too, but this has got more diverse move pool. So for the first run of the Battle Frontier in the Battle Tower, this is the moveset and team we're going to be using. I do want to talk about how we actually got to this point, because it's a lot of training, it's a lot of decision making and stuff. So it's about the journey, it's about the climb. Miley Cyrus. So I decided to start this adventure at about 403 hours in-game Fire Red. I already had the Umbreon, Metagross, and Charizard already EV trained, so already set. Charizard also was level 100. However, Umbreon was at level 50, and Metagross was at level 66, so I wanted to get these to level 100 before we brought them over to the Battle Frontier. So I do most of my level training in the Savalt Canyon. This is on the 7th island. I mostly verse these two trainers, and then I go in this grass and try to hopefully get shiny Larvitar. Hasn't happened yet. It's been 5 years, so it'll happen eventually. I actually did a few hours of this level grinding on a live stream, but majority of the training was off camera. At about 413 hours, so about 10 hours of training roughly, finally got these two boys to level 100. This felt like it took a long time. Training Umbreon was a little difficult because it has no moves that, you know, destroy other Pokemon easily, but just put the lucky egg on Metagross and the EXP share on Umbreon and just sharing some XP. So it wasn't awful, but it took a little time. So after leveling up, I already had an idea of the moves that I wanted to use on the Pokemon, although I wasn't completely sure. I did have Protect already on this Fire Red save file, so I decided to teach that to Umbreon. I definitely wanted Toxic, however I did not have that. So I figured I had to go check the other games to see if I have a TM on any of those. But before I did that, I decided to run over to Mount Ember because I figured out, or I learned that you can learn Explosion from one of the dudes up there. You can only learn it once, so you gotta be cautious. But I taught Explosion to Metagross. This is gonna be a great move just for like Blissies and Snorlaxes and other really annoying things in the Battle Frontier. After that, I went to my TMs again and kind of thought, what should we give Charizard? The only TM that I really had was Dragon Claw here, so just decided to give Charizard another special attack and move. Charizard can learn a lot of good moves, it's just most of them are physical, so kind of unfortunate. And I really do want to make use out of the EV training and the nature of Charizard. I didn't really have anything else to do in Fire Red with these Pokemon, so I decided to trade them over to Emerald. Once they were over on Emerald, I looked through my TMs on there as well, and I decided to give Metagross Earthquake. Such a good move. I started searching around for Toxic because I could have sworn that you could buy it from the Battle Frontier somewhere, but you can't. I looked around, there was nothing, so you just need to pick it up from a TM. I decided to buy the Choice Band and put that on Metagross because it's just a good item, and Metagross is such a physical attacker. So, and also if I do decide to just use Explosion, but the Choice Band is going to give it some extra damage to hopefully destroy the other Pokemon. It doesn't make sense to put the Choice Band on any other Pokemon on this team, so I figured let's try it out. Continuing my search for both the Toxic TM and the Salac Berry. The Salac Berry is the item that I kind of wanted to put on Charizard because when its HP is less than like a fourth or something, then your speed gets increased a lot. So not only is your speed going to get increased, but because Charizard's ability has Blaze, when it's below a third HP, its special attack is going to get extra buffed. So this kind of combos pretty well. However, the Salac Berry is really only found, I think it was in Coliseum or something, and that just sounds like a big chore. I don't feel like doing that right now. So maybe another day, but I decided I'm not going to find the Salac Berry. But let's try and find Toxic. It's got to be one of these games. So I first searched for Ruby. It wasn't a Ruby. Went to Sapphire. It was not in Sapphire either. And however, I did went to Leaf Green, my save file over there, and there was Toxic. So now I just had to bring it over to Emerald. However, that came another issue because I didn't get far enough in my Leaf Green save file to trade with Emerald or the Hoenn region. So I ended up trading my Pokemon that had the TM Toxic. I gave it to a Pokemon, brought it brought it from Leaf Green to Fire Red, then Fire Red to Emerald. So just kind of a little bit of an annoying headache, but it's whatever. So then we finally taught Umbreon Toxic. It took an hour, but we did it. And then lastly, I just decided to put Sunny Day on Charizard because it needed a different move. It can't have 3 fire moves that are attacking, so I thought Sunny Day might just be a good thing to buff Pokemon. I really couldn't decide this last move, so I did have Blast Burn on Charizard. Fire Blast is probably a better move just because Blast Burn does more damage, but you have to recharge after, and it also has a pretty high chance of missing. Fire Blast is probably better. I might replace the Flamethrower with Fire Blast, but I still would prefer a non-fire move, but there just isn't a lot of moves out there. I might do Substitute just as a way for Charizard to survive because it is kind of weak. I didn't really end up finding another move I really wanted. So next up, I decided to run over to the IV checker to actually see what IVs these shinies have because I never did that before. The Metagross just had better than average IVs and its HP was the best. Not the best, but not too bad either. Next up, I checked Umbreon. This had average stats, so this is actually bad. This is the lowest. This is 0 to 60 overall IV, so kind of bad. But its special defense was outstanding, which is pretty high relatively. Then lastly, I checked the Charizard, and this had better than average stats, and it had flawless HP, which is awesome. So it had max 31 IVs in HP. Kind of cool to know, So I kind of wish that, obviously, if the guy says outstanding or impressive overall IVs, that's really good. But at the end of the day, I got what I got. So the natures are pretty good too, so can't complain. Since I didn't have an item on Charizard and I wanted that Salac Berry thing, I didn't really know what to put, so I ran over to the game, or the shop, and I decided to buy the Scope Lens. Scope Lens is going to raise the crit ratio on Charizard or any Pokemon you put this on. I thought that'd be like an okay item. I think there could be a better item here. I don't know exactly what I want. Maybe the Focus Band would be helpful, but I'm not sure. I'm open to any criticisms or like tips on this Charizard build. It just seems a little tough, like deciding what moves and items to put on it. Before we did any battling in the battle tower, I decided to use some PP ups to increase the PP on the Pokemon, the power points. I kind of was focusing more on like Umbreon and making sure that those moves had higher like usage rates, because Umbreon is going to be our stalling Pokemon, so it's got to have that. It's got to have extra moves. So, but anyway, we headed into the battle tower. The first round, pretty easy. I mean, the Pokemon are, again, quite easy. There's no real challenges. I would say in the first like 2-3 levels is kind of just gauging how your team is. Levels 1 and 2, I would say, were pretty easy. Level 3 it started to get a little bit difficult. I'm not saying it was that difficult, but we started seeing a better Pokemon like Chanseys and just more Pokemon that could potentially give issues to like a not good team. The first 3 levels, though, I would say that I was finding that Charizard just felt not useless, but there wasn't really a lot of situations I was like, I'm going to use Charizard here. It was Umbreon to get the information, and then it was either Umbreon's going to stall and take out the Pokemon with Toxic, or I'm just going to send out Metagross and it's just going to wipe everything. That's kind of how those 3 rounds went, those 3 floors. Heading into the 4th floor, so again, this is the first run of the team and everything, and I'm still a pretty not new trainer, but I'm just not the best Pokemon trainer or Battle Frontier expert. I ended up losing on the 4th floor on the 7th person, and this was mainly due to a little bit of lack of focus and just poor decision making. All the other trainers on level 4 I think were quite easy. I mean, there were some more difficult trainers that are starting to get some better Pokemon where you had to think a little bit and make sure you don't, again, misplay or anything, but overall it was kind of easy. But getting to the 4th trainer, we'll actually watch the battle, but kind of started off, there was a milk tank, and the milk tank opened up with a tract, and my Umbreon was not able to land anything, and the milk tank just focus punch after focus punch. So that was kind of unfortunate. The Umbreon got dropped real easily. I sent out Metagross to try and handle the situation, and I was deciding on Earthquake or Meteor Mash, and I figured, I got unlucky 3 times with Umbreon. I think if I go Meteor Mash, it should hit. Hopefully I'm not going to get unlucky again. Decided to go Meteor Mash, and Milk Tank used Focus Punch, and I just got kind of murked. I did go Meteor Mash again, and it did do some damage, but definitely not as much as I wanted to. The Gyarados, for some reason, had Fire Blast, so doing a lot of damage, and also on top of that, Metagross was paralyzed. Man, Lapras and a Gyarados, and I got a Charizard left. Yeah, that was not happening. I decided I was thinking about going Blast Burn. Looking back, I probably should have, but if it didn't kill, this is a tough decision here. It could have went either way, but I went with the Flamethrower in hopes that I wouldn't die in one hit from the Surf or any other water move. But yeah, that was that. So I ended up losing to Craig, Tuber Craig. And really, I think I blamed this loss on the decision in the beginning to keep Umbreon in when it was attracted, and I knew it had Focus Punch. The Milk Tank had Focus Punch. That was just a lethal combo, and Umbreon being extra weak to fighting definitely did not help. But that's that. But looking back on the team, I mean, I think it's still early to say how the team's overall performance is. I'm definitely going to run it back again, just kind of how it is before I make any decisions and judgment calls. But overall, right now, Charizard feels too specialized to do anything important. It just feels like the fire moves either are really good for the situation or just are kind of useless. There's a lot of water moves in the Battle Frontier, so man, it's rough being Charizard. Also, Rock Slide is a thing that's 4 times weak to it, so just another thing to consider. Metagross feels really good. That can handle a lot of things. However, adding the choice band to it makes it feel very limiting. Like there are some situations where I want to keep Metagross in, but maybe use a different move, or just end the situation quickly with an explosion and kind of get out of there. Like Metagross can sweep somebody, and then if I use explosion, well, that's already destroying 2 Pokemon, and then I got Umbreon and Charizard left to handle the last one. I'm not really a fan of the choice band, so maybe I'll put a Quick Claw on or something else. Umbreon feels great. It can sweep typically 2 Pokemon, 3 Pokemon at a time. I mean, again, these are still the early rounds, so it's kind of easy to say that it can now, but later on it might be a lot more difficult. But that Protect with the Toxic and then the Moonlight just to heal, and if the opposing Pokemon can't really handle Umbreon or whittle it down quick enough, the HP, I could just hit it with Feint Attack and do some additional damage to put the pressure on. Umbreon feels really good. Metagross also feels great as well, but the choice band is probably a mistake. I am going to run it back one more time with it all, just again see how it goes. Charizard though feels weak. I think it needs something else. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe I will switch out like the Flamethrower or like the Sunny Day for like an actual, like maybe physical move, like throw Earthquake on it, like why not? It's still a great move for the Battle Frontier. So I'm recording this audio after I just finished that 4th run. I will come back after I have the 2nd or 3rd run, see how we do, see how the team feels, and kind of update you all on that. Okay, so I am back. I've gotten some more battles in, some new updates. I did battle right after the previous matches. I did go run it right back in the Battle Frontier, and I got to like the 2nd level and ended up dying. I don't even remember what happened. It was pretty embarrassing. I just kind of blocked it out of my memory. Right now we're watching another run I did. I got to the 4th stage, and this is actually the match I lost, unfortunately. Before we discuss the match, though, I want to briefly mention that I ended up in the 2nd or the 3rd run of the shiny team. I did put the focus band on Charizard. I just thought it'd be a better item. If the focus band does pop, Charizard will be at below 1/3 HP, so the Blaze ability will be activated, so the fire moves will do even more damage. So I just thought that'd be a better item than the Quick Claw. In this match that we're watching, the opponent had a Swampert and a Whaleren. I did also make some misplays, and I guess I lost this match because I have a habit of playing this game while doing other things like talking to friends online, or just even playing other games, or like watching movies or something, So my attention is always not 100% on the game, which is not good. Like I should be focusing on the game, especially once we get to these, I don't even call them higher levels, but level 4 and above is where things start getting like dicey, where the Pokemon are actually kind of more complicated. So I did make a little misplay somewhere in the beginning of this match. Had Umbreon out, and I used Toxic when the Pokemon was already poisoned, so it was kind of a waste of a turn. I don't think that's the exact reason I lost the game or this match, but it was definitely a contributing factor. Overall though, I just made some kind of bad decisions. Like in the beginning, I had Metagross, or I tried to Toxic the Swampert, and when I knew it was this cursed Swampert because this thing is kind of annoying. So I know it's got Curse, it's got Counter and Rest, and I was kind of hoping to Toxic it, and I don't know. I should have just sent that Metagross from the beginning and immediately Explosioned it to take it out, because I knew it was going to be a pain in the neck. This type of Swampert, the cursed Pokemon, you just got to deal with immediately, and that's the whole reason why I had Metagross in this, or on this team, or one of the main reasons. I also forgot to mention though, I did take off the choice band on Metagross, and I put, I think, the Quick Claw on. I didn't like how choice band limits only to one move. I wanted to test out something else. The 1.5 times damage increase is really good, don't get me wrong, but I wanted to test out, without it on. But yeah, getting back, I really should have used Metagross in the beginning, just use Explosion and get that out of there. I was kind of hoping that Umbreon would kind of take care of that, but his Charizard was not going to be helpful in that match at all. The unfortunate thing is this trainer had Whaleren and Swampert, so 2 water types, so Charizard it was not really a good Pokemon for this. It had no moves that were going to really benefit and take out those Pokemon. Yeah, unfortunate, but it's just how it is. Even with all the misplays and dumb things that I kind of did in decisions, I thought we would have had it, because I had Flygon poisoned, Umbreon had pretty high health and everything, and I thought we would have pulled through at the end, but that Flygon hit us with a crit, and it just happens sometimes. You just get hit with that crit and it doesn't matter. So that was quite unfortunate. If we didn't get hit with the crit, I think we would have done pretty well. Looking back, I wonder, maybe I should use Protect. Now that I'm rewatching this game, I'm very confused. So Flygon used Earthquake, I used Toxic. I then used Protect Flygon used Earthquake. I didn't get to select a move, and then Flygon used Earthquake again. Kind of interesting. Why wasn't I able to select the move there? I mean, I don't think it would have decided anything, but I'm just thinking, I guess using Protect somehow prevented me from using another move. Not quite sure, but anyway, we're gonna run it back. I need a little break. I gotta focus. I gotta stop making dumb decisions, and this is the Battle Frontier. I need my focus like 100% on the game. I know that sounds like, I'm not gonna say dumb, but it sounds like it's too much in a sense. All the micro decisions in the Battle Frontier do add up, and I think, yeah, if I had 1 or 2 less dumb decisions here, we would have, you know, beat this person. But it does raise a question though, when there's gonna be like 2 water types again, like, or even like 1, like Charizard just is lackluster. We'll get through it. I'll keep grinding and keep you guys posted. Anyway though, stay tuned for the next episode. Let you know how we do. Hopefully we do a lot better, get past round 4. Gotta at least get the silver medal with this team. But anyway, take care everybody. Check out some of the videos on the channel, and I'll see you there.